Hi everyone, this is Amanda from Artistic Expressions, and today I'm going to be creating a Valentine gnome using the shape pour technique. I've tried this a couple of times and I haven't had much success. I did one for Christmas and that one came out pretty easy. For some reason the Valentine one is really tricky. But I decided to use a heart canvas just for Valentine's Day. And as I'm adding the colors, I will let you know what they are, but I'll also list them in the descriptor underneath the video. So you can find that information out along with information on how I mix my paints. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing I do is I draw my image onto the canvas. And once I'm done with that and I'm satisfied, I take it and, of course, level it out. And I just do the outline of the image in apple barrel white matte. So I'm just going to go around. Some of these parts in the lines I'm going to cover because I'm not going to add them until after I am finished blowing out the initial pour. So I'm going to start by adding the apple barrel white. I'm just going to outline him. I think I'm going to go ahead and outline just the arrow head and the back end of it, the tail, if that's what that's called. I'm going to go ahead and outline my heart for the arrow. Okay, so I'm going to start with his hat, and the pink that I'm using is just a combination of all the colors I use for some of my Dutch pours that I've done, and it just got a really pretty pink color, so I thought it would be a perfect color for his hat. And that little rim of his hat, I am not going to add that until I'm done blowing, so I'm just going to go ahead and make his whole hat, or most of it, pink. And I won't add his nose until later because it disappears anyway, so. All right, his little body, I'm gonna go ahead and do the heart because it looks like the heart is starting to lose some of its shape. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It's gonna be red. This is Liquitex Cadmium deep red hue. Sorry, I was trying to remember the name of it. Okay, now I'm going to do his little feet. And this is a combination of Liquitex Bronze and Amsterdam Dyke Brown. I used it for some other, I think the tree that I did earlier in I think it was in the summer. And I used that for the trunk because I wanted a lot of glimmer in the tree, so I didn't want to mix up any brown. And I had this on hand, and it works out great for his shoes. This is just a combination of Artist Loft Titanium White and Liquitex Orange, just to get that peach color. Now the rest of him is just going to be gray, because I will add his beard after I'm done blowing it out. I'll add the red rim of his hat. I'll add his nose. So the rest of him is going to be gray. And this is Liquitex, I think Ivory Black. Oh, it's Liquitex Ivory Black and Artist Loft Titanium White. I just mixed it until I found a gray that I liked. So, all right, I'm going to add the apple barrel white around my little gnome. I guess that little gray part's not going to fill in. That's okay. All right. I do use a lot of this white paint. I'm going to use a lot of paint, period, doing this. But I always scrape it and use it for something else later on. So now what I'm going to do is get a craft stick and just push some of the white over the edge. All right, I'm just going to run this along the edge. Make sure I didn't miss any spots. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit. I don't even need to add any, but I'm going to add a little bit of white around my little gnome. Okay, time to torch and then blow it out. I see a section that needs a little more paint. All right, here we go. We'll start off by using the low setting. This is a flower. This is what I always use. Drew Barrymore. It's a mini travel blow dryer. It doesn't have a cooling setting, but it doesn't seem to have any negative effect. So I really like it. It's easy to handle. So I'm putting this on low right after I pluck out a dog hair. The dog hair everywhere in my house. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna blow it that way. All right, so now I'm just going to take the nozzle off and just blow it on high in the center. That kind of clears that white out, and then I'm going to start by going up and down. I'm going to have it on high. I want to go in this direction with the arrow. Okay, so now I get to wait for about 10 minutes and let the cells start to pop up. So I'll see you in about 10. I'm going to pause you. All right, I am back. I've given it a little bit of time to kind of have the shape come through. And I now have to do my touch-ups. So I'm going to see if I can get the heart to pop out a little more over here. I think I have to go back over it again. Okay, so here's what I'll do first. I am going to shape his little hat. And there's a lot of gray in his hat. I don't know if I'm going to keep that or if I'm going to go over it with a solid. If I want to go over it with just when it dries, if I want it to be a solid pink or not, I don't know. It just depends on how this turns out and what it looks like when it's dry. So I'm going to torch this real quick because I see a couple of bubbles. So I need some white here, here. I don't like the color. There's a lot of color in that. And these dots that I'm adding should kind of soak in some of the color around it and start to take on the look of the original ones that are there. Now I'm going to shape his arms. His arms didn't come out very good over here, so I'm going to blow out this way a little bit and out this way a little bit to give his arms some shape. Now I'm going to go ahead and reshape him. I am going to blow the gray out a little bit on this side because of that weird little triangle sticking out. The shoes are there, they're just hiding underneath the white paint. Okay, so I think now, I keep saying I think, I'm sorry. Okay, what I'm going to do now is kind of use my finger to remove some of the paint where I'm going to put his little hands. That way I have like a little divot and I won't be adding too much paint in. Right there. Okay, I'm gonna add his little paint, or his little hands. Hopefully I didn't add too much. Okay, now I'm gonna work on his shoes because they disappeared. We need to have his shoes back. I don't like this white right there. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do the same thing. Take a little bit of the paint off where his shoes are gonna go. And then just fill that in with the brown. Now, okay. I'm gonna blow the shoes out a little bit. That part of the shoe does not want to work. Okay, I'm hoping his shoes don't shrink down too much. I'm gonna blow the hands too. Just a little bit. Still getting that really wet kind of look. Almost like clear. Same over here. Okay. Just shape his hands by using the straw. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do now, ooh, there's a lot of weird white right here. So I'm gonna clean that up and add some gray. Okay. I gotta go check on the puppy again. Okay, now I'm gonna use one of my little, all right, now that I have his hands, okay, and his feet, I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. I am going to go ahead and work on the heart. So I'm gonna see if I can get that shape to come back just by blowing. It works out pretty well. Straight this way so the point. All right, so I think I can probably pull up some of the red just with my finger. It's going straight this way, so his point should be right there. Okay, so add some red for the little heart. And red for the tail. I don't know, the fin? What is the back of an arrow called? Okay, I'm just going to blow that out. I'm just going to fill in the spot. Okay. Then this. Okay, I need to do his beard. So I'm going to use Artist Loft, the titanium white. Okay, his hat, I really want it to go further down. So I'm going to start his beard right about here. That's about where I want it to go. Maybe a little dot of white right there in the center. So now that I have his beard, I am going to go ahead and put his red rim. I'm just going to blow that out. And now I'm going to add his little nose. So I'm going to put a little divot where I want his nose to go, just right about here. So I'm going to pluck some of that paint out with my finger. So add a little bit of white for his nose. And he's about done when it comes to adding the colors. And all I have to do now is go in and do my little swirls. I'm going to make the hat part just a little bit thicker for the red. You know, I do need to add a little bit more red here, because that's where the bridge of his nose is and it's pushing up on his hat. So okay. My other stylus has got a little bit smaller of a tip on the end, and I'm going to start kind of going around and making borders or little outlines, swirly outlines. All right, that's the tip of his hat. Let's get around his rim. All right. I'm going to start here. I'm going to start up here. That to be white. Right there. Okay. I'm going to outline his little hands. Okay, here we go. too far. I'm going to go back and make his hat solid pink so I can fill this in. For the most part, he looks really cute. I'll fix him later, though. So here is the final finished dried product, my little Valentine gnome. I did wait for it to dry and go in and fill in the hat with pink so it was a solid color. I did have to touch up his nose and the rim of his hat, but that was pretty much all I had to do. He dried nicely. So say hello to my little gnome. Have a great day and a great Valentine's Day.